My name is Kate Hayes. I'm 49, and I teach third graders in Omaha, Nebraska. My life used to revolve around simple joys, reading stories to my students, their giggles filling the classroom, and coming home to our two-story house on a quiet street lined with maple trees. I'd make meatloaf or lasagna, and my daughters, Abby, 18, and Sophie, 20, would sit around the kitchen table, teasing each other about college crushes or weekend plans. That life shattered when my husband, Thomas Reed, betrayed me with our neighbor, Allison Brown, and turned my own daughters against me with lies. Now, I'm in a one-bedroom rental on the edge of West Omaha, the radiator hissing like it's laughing at me, plotting to take back my girls and make Thomas and Allison regret what they've done. It started last fall, though I was too trusting to see it. Thomas, 50, manages a hardware store downtown, always grumbling about inventory or slow sales. He started staying late, claiming he had to balance the books. His phone was always face down, his answers short. I thought it was the stress of his store teetering on the edge of bankruptcy a few years back. I'd kept us afloat then, stretching my teacher's salary to cover bills while he promised to get it together. Allison, 42, lived across the street, a single mom who'd moved in 3 years ago. She'd drop by with casseroles, her smile too bright, her eyes lingering on Thomas when she thought I wasn't looking. I brushed it off. 22 years of marriage made me think we were untouchable. In March, everything fell apart. Thomas sat me down in our living room on the couch where we'd watched Abby take her first steps and said he wanted out. His voice was flat like he'd rehearsed it. "You're too controlling, Kate," he said, staring at the floor. "You've suffocated me, always on me about money, schedules, everything." Controlling me? The woman who juggled parent-teacher conferences and his late-night rants about work. Then he admitted he was sleeping with Allison. "She was supportive," he said. "Not like you." It felt like a knife, but the real pain came when he turned Abby and Sophie against me. He told them I'd driven him to cheat, that I'd micromanaged his life, made him miserable. He painted me as the villain of our marriage, and Allison backed him up, playing the sweet neighbor who just wanted to help. By April, my daughters were distant. Sophie, studying nursing at the University of Nebraska, stopped answering my calls. Abby, who bakes at a shop near the old market, dodged me when I visited, her eyes cold. They started spending weekends at the house with Allison, who'd moved in the day I moved out. She was cooking my recipes, hosting my girls, living my life. I was erased. I got the rental in West Omaha, a dingy place with thin walls and a view of a gas station. At night, I'd lie awake, the betrayal burning in my chest. Thomas didn't just cheat, he stole my daughter's trust. Allison didn't just take my husband, she took my home, my family. They thought they'd won, that I'd fade away, a broken woman in a cheap apartment. They were wrong. I wasn't going to let them rewrite my story. I'd show Abby and Sophie the truth, make Thomas and Allison lose the one thing they didn't deserve, their love. And I'd do it alone, no allies, just me and the truth. I started where I could, Allison's past. Nobody moves to Omaha to start fresh without baggage. She'd mentioned a rough breakup in Kansas City years ago, a detail that nagged at me. I opened my laptop, the same one I used to grade spelling tests, and paid $20 for a background check site. It took 10 minutes to find the first crack. Allison Brown had a 2015 misdemeanor for check fraud in Kansas City. A bounced check to a landlord, small but shady. Why hide it? I dug deeper, scouring her old social media, still public because she wasn't as smart as she thought. A 2016 post showed her at a bar, toasting new beginnings with a guy who commented, "Glad you got out of that mess." Others hinted at debts, maybe a scam. I saved every post, my heart pounding. This was my edge. Then I stumbled on something bigger. Our house was listed for sale. I found it on a real estate site, the photo of our front porch, where Sophie used to read her nursing textbooks, stabbing me in the gut. Listed for $330,000, no mention to me. I called the agent, faking interest as a buyer. "The couple's eager to sell," she said. "The wife's pushing for a quick close." The wife, Allison. She wasn't just living in my house, she was trying to cash it out. Thomas's emails might hold more. I knew his password. Omaha Huskers 22, the same lazy one he'd used for years. Logging in felt like crossing a line, but this was about my girls. His inbox was a mess of store receipts and fantasy football spam, but one email from Allison stopped me cold. "Tom, we can close by June if we move fast. Don't tell the girls yet, keep it between us." Another email to the agent read, "Allison says we need the money for a place in Lincoln. Urgent." Lincoln. They were planning to uproot my daughter's lives without a word. Thomas was either too spineless or too smitten to question her. I copied the emails to a USB, my hands steady. This was proof Allison was manipulating him, using his money, our money, to fund her schemes. But it wasn't enough. Abby and Sophie wouldn't believe a few emails. They'd think I was bitter, desperate. I needed more on Allison, her debts, her lies, something undeniable. And Thomas wasn't innocent. If he was funneling money to her, there'd be bank records, transfers, something to show he'd betrayed not just me but our girls. I remembered our joint account, when he hadn't closed yet, probably thinking I wouldn't check. I logged in, heart racing, and saw it. $5,000 transferred to an account in Allison's name last month. No explanation, just a memo. My blood boiled. He was draining our savings, and my daughters had no idea. I leaned back, the apartment's radiator clanking in the silence. Allison was a fraud, and Thomas was her fool, lying to our girls to keep her happy. I'd make them see it. I'd find every secret, court records, bank transfers, whatever it took, and lay them out so Abby and Sophie couldn't look away. Thomas would regret choosing her, and Allison would lose the family she stole. I'd do it quietly, carefully, no outbursts or public stunts. Just the truth, sharp as a blade. My girls would come back to me, and when they did, Thomas and Allison would be left with nothing but regret. The Omaha sun is low, casting long shadows across the strip mall parking lot outside my apartment window. I'm at my kitchen counter, laptop open, a lukewarm coffee beside me, the bitter taste matching the fire in my chest. My daughters, Abby and Sophie, are slipping, further away, pulled in by Allison Brown's fake smiles and Thomas Reed's lies. They think I'm the one who broke our family, the controlling wife who pushed their dad into another woman's arms. But I've got proof now. Allison's check fraud from Kansas City, emails about selling our house, a $5,000 transfer to her account. It's not enough to win my girls back. They'll need more to see through the facade to turn on both of them. I'm not stopping until Thomas regrets his betrayal and Allison loses the life she stole. I start with Allison's past. That 2015 misdemeanor for check fraud was a crack in her perfect image, but I need something heavier, something my daughters can't ignore. Abby's stubborn. She'll question anything sketchy if the evidence is solid. Sophie's softer, but she'll listen if it's undeniable. I go back to the background check site, shelling out another $25 for a deeper dive. It takes an hour, but I find it. A 2014 court case in Kansas City. Allison didn't just bounce a check. She'd run a small scam, forging signatures on rental agreements to pocket deposits from tenants. She avoided jail with a plea deal, but the records are public, complete with her name and a grainy photo. I save the PDF, my pulse quickening. This is the kind of secret that could unravel her sweet neighbor act. I keep digging, searching old news articles from Kansas City. A small blog post from 2016 mentions a local woman caught in a debt collection mess after skipping out on $12,000 in credit card payments. No name, but the details match. Same age, same neighborhood Allison lived in. I cross-reference her old Facebook posts, finding a comment from an angry user. "You still owe me, AB, it's her." She left a trail of burned bridges before coming to Omaha, and I'm holding the map. I download everything, building a file that paints her as the liar she is. Thomas is next. That $5,000 transfer to Allison's account wasn't a one-off. I log back into our joint bank account. His laziness with passwords is my advantage. The statement shows 2 more transfers, $3,000 in February and $2,500 last week, both to the same account with "for A" in the memo. Nearly $10,000 of our family's savings, money we'd set aside for Sophie's tuition and Abby's car, gone to Allison. I check his email again, scrolling past the real estate chain. There's a message from his bank, flagged for suspicious activity. "Please confirm recent transfers to an external account." He hadn't responded. He's either clueless or complicit, but either way, he's draining our future for her. I lean back, the radiator's hum filling the silence. My girls don't know their dad's throwing away their college fund, their security, for a woman who's been lying since Kansas City. But confronting them now would backfire. Sophie might cry and run to Allison. Abby might call me jealous. I need to be surgical, plant doubts that grow on their own. I start with something small but undeniable, the house sale. They love that house, the porch where Abby sketched, the kitchen where Sophie studied. If they knew Thomas and Allison were selling it behind their backs, it'd crack their trust. I print the real estate listing, the photo of our maple-shaded porch staring back at me. I also print the email where Allison pushes for a quick sale to fund their move to Lincoln. I slip them into an envelope, no note, no signature. I drive to the old market where Abby works at the bakery and leave the envelope in her car's windshield wiper parked outside. It's a risk. She might show it to Thomas, but Abby's sharp. She'll ask questions. I imagine her reading it, her brow furrowing, texting Sophie. "Did you know about this?" It's a seed, not a bomb, but it's a start. Back at the apartment, I focus on Allison's fraud. The Kansas City court records are solid, but I need something closer to home, something that ties her to Omaha. I remember a conversation from last summer, Allison bragging about her consulting side gig to a neighbor. She was vague, said it was online marketing, but it felt off. I search her name on a freelance platform I know from a colleague, Upwork. Sure enough, there's an old profile, Allison Brown, marketing specialist. The reviews are mixed. 2 clients from 2020 claim she took payments and never delivered. One wrote, "Unprofessional, ghosted us after $500. I screenshot it, adding it to my file. It's another piece to show my girls she's not who she seems. Thomas's lies need more exposure, too. I check his email again, finding a thread with his boss at the hardware store. "Need a week off," Thomas wrote last month. "Personal matters." His boss replied, "Again, you're on thin ice, Tom." He's been slacking, probably distracted by Allison, risking his job while funneling our money to her. I save the thread, wondering if there's a way to show Abby and Sophie how he's falling apart. Maybe a bank statement slipped to them anonymously, showing the transfers. It hit hard. Sophie's saving for nursing school. She'd hate knowing he's burning her tuition. I pause, staring at the USB drive where I've stored everything. Court records, emails, bank transfers, screenshots. It's a ticking bomb, but I have to be careful. If I move too fast, Allison will spin it, play the victim. Thomas might double down, tell the girls I'm obsessed. I need one more piece, something that ties their lies together, something my daughters can't ignore. I think back to Allison's fresh start comment. If she's hiding debts or worse in Omaha, there might be local records. A lien, a loan, something she didn't cover. I open my laptop again, searching county records for her name. It's tedious, but I'm a teacher. I'm used to grading papers late into the night. Half an hour later, I find it. A 2021 lien against Allison for $8,000, unpaid rent from an apartment in Dundee before she moved to our street. The landlord filed it in Omaha's county court. She never mentioned it, probably hoping it'd stay buried. I save the record, my mind racing. If she's still dodging debts, she might be using Thomas's money to pay them off. That's the link, her fraud, his stupidity. I just need to prove it, then get it to my girls without them knowing it's me. I close my laptop, the Omaha skyline dim through my window. The Missouri River glints in the distance, calm and steady, unlike the storm in my chest. Allison thinks she's won, living in my house, charming my daughters. Thomas thinks he's escaped, free to play house with her. They're wrong. I'll dig until every secret is exposed, until Abby and Sophie see them for what they are, a liar and a fool. They'll turn their backs on them, and Thomas will beg for forgiveness when it's too late. I'm not the broken woman they expect. I'm their mother, and I'm taking my family back. The glow of my laptop screen lights up the dim apartment, the only sound the faint hum of traffic from the strip mall outside. I'm knee-deep in Allison Brown's lies and Thomas Reed's betrayal, my fingers trembling with every new piece of evidence. My daughters, Abby and Sophie, are still under Allison's spell, eating her lies about me being the controlling wife who ruined their dad's life. The envelope I left on Abby's car, a printout of the house sale listing and Allison's email pushing for a quick close, was a gamble. I haven't heard from her, but I know my girl. She's sharp, skeptical. That seed of doubt is sprouting, and I'm ready to water it with more truth. Allison's fraud and Thomas's financial stupidity are unraveling, and I'm going to make sure my girls see it all until they turn their backs on both of them. I start with the $8,000 lien I found against Allison for unpaid rent in Omaha's Dundee neighborhood. It's a solid lead, but I need to connect it to her current schemes. If she's dodging debts, she's likely using Thomas's money, our family's money, to cover her tracks. I go back to the county records site, searching for more. After an hour, I hit gold, a 2022 small claims case in Omaha. Allison was sued by a local contractor for $6,500, unpaid work on her old apartment's patio. The court ordered her to pay, but the case notes say she defaulted, no payment made. I download the filing, my heart racing. This isn't just a Kansas City scam. She's been pulling the same tricks here, right under Thomas's nose. I cross-check her name on another public records database, one I found through a teacher friend who deals with legal paperwork for school grants. There's a second lien, this one from early 2023, for $4,200 from a car loan company. Allison defaulted on a used SUV, repossessed last month. I remember seeing her driving a shiny new sedan in our neighborhood. Where'd she get the money? Thomas. I log into our joint bank account again, his lazy Omaha Huskers 22 password still working. The statements show another transfer, $7,000 to an account in Allison's name, dated 3 weeks ago with a memo. Car. He's not just funding her lifestyle, he's covering her debts, draining the savings we built for our daughters. This is the link I needed. Allison's using Thomas to bankroll her fresh start, and he's too blind to see she's bleeding him dry. My girls don't know their college fund is disappearing, that their dad's throwing away their future for a woman who can't stop lying. But I can't just send them bank statements. They'll think I'm digging for dirt out of spite. I need to make them question Allison and Thomas themselves to see the cracks without my fingerprints. I think about Sophie, my soft-hearted nurse in training. She's studying at the University of Nebraska, scraping by on scholarships and a part-time job. If she knew her tuition money was going to Allison's debts, she'd be furious. Abby, my stubborn one, would demand answers if she thought their dad was selling their childhood home for a con artist. I decide to push the house sale angle further. The envelope on Abby's car was a start, but I need Sophie to see it too. I create a burner email address, something generic like concernedfriend123@gmail.com, and attach the real estate listing with a cropped screenshot of Allison's email to Thomas. "Don't tell the girls yet." I write a short message. "You deserve to know what's happening with your house." I send it to Sophie's school email, the one she uses for class assignments. It's a risk. She might show it to Thomas, but Sophie's always been the one to overthink, to dig. She'll talk to Abby and they'll start asking questions. That's all I need for now. Next, I focus on Allison's local scams. The contractor lawsuit mentions a phone number for the plaintiff, a guy named Robert Klein. I hesitate, then call from a blocked number, posing as a tenant checking Allison's rental history. Robert's gruff, still angry. "She's a piece of work," he says. "Took my deposit, never paid for the patio, then disappeared. Heard she's living it up in West Omaha now." I press gently, asking if she mentioned debts. "Oh yeah," he says. "She bragged about dodging creditors, said her new guy was covering her." New guy, Thomas. I thank him and hang up, my stomach twisting. Allison's not just a liar, she's proud of it. I need something tangible to tie her fraud to Thomas's money. I check his email again, filtering for anything financial. There's a message from his bank, a warning about unusual activity on a credit card I didn't know he had. I call the bank, using our old joint account number to get through. The rep confirms. A new card was opened in Thomas's name 3 months ago, with $9,000 charged, mostly cash advances to an account matching Allison's. I ask for a statement to be mailed to my apartment, claiming I'm Mrs. Reed checking on fraud. It'll arrive in a few days, hard proof of Thomas funneling money to her. I sit back, the weight of it all sinking in. Allison's a repeat offender. Check fraud in Kansas City, unpaid debts in Omaha, a repossessed car. Thomas is her ATM, draining our savings to keep her afloat, lying to our daughters to protect her. The house sale is their endgame, cash out and run to Lincoln, leaving Abby and Sophie in the dark. I imagine Thomas's face when the girls turn on him, when he realizes Allison's lies cost him everything. He'll beg for forgiveness, but it'll be too late. And Allison, she'll be exposed, her perfect mom act shattered. I slip the printed liens and court records into a folder, my evidence growing. The bank statement will seal it, but I need one final piece, something personal, something that shows my girls how Allison's manipulating them. I remember Sophie mentioning Allison gave her a bracelet, a family heirloom from her mother. It felt odd then. Allison never talked about family. If I can prove it's fake, another lie, it'll hit Sophie hard. I search pawn shop listings in Omaha, looking for anything matching the description Sophie gave me. Silver, heart-shaped charm. A long shot, but I find a similar item sold last month at a shop in Benson. I'll visit tomorrow, see if it's hers. If Allison's pawning jewelry while pretending it's sentimental, it's another nail in her coffin. The Omaha night is quiet outside, the Missouri River a faint shimmer in the distance. My apartment feels less like a cage now, more like a war room. I'm not the broken woman Thomas and Allison expect. I'm a mother and I'm fighting for my daughters. Every lie I uncover brings me closer to tearing them apart. Abby and Sophie will see the truth, reject them both, and come back to me. Thomas will regret his betrayal, and Allison will lose the life she stole. I'm just getting started. The morning sun filters through the cheap blinds of my West Omaha apartment, casting stripes across the folder of evidence on my kitchen counter. My daughters, Abby and Sophie, are still caught in the web of lies spun by Allison Brown and Thomas Reed. They believe I'm the one who broke our family, the controlling wife who drove their dad away. But I'm closing in Allison's fraud, Thomas's stolen savings, the house sale they're hiding. It's all coming together. The envelope I left on Abby's car and the email I sent to Sophie about the house sale are starting to work. I saw them arguing in the bakery parking lot yesterday, Abby waving her phone, Sophie frowning. They're questioning things. Now I need to hit harder, show them who Allison and Thomas really are, until they turn their backs on both and Thomas is left with nothing but regret. I start with the bracelet Allison gave Sophie, the family heirloom she claimed was her mother's. Sophie texted me about it months ago before she stopped talking to me. A silver chain with a heart-shaped charm, engraved with a tiny rose. It didn't sit right then, and now I suspect it's another lie. I drive to Benson, a quirky Omaha neighborhood with pawn shops tucked between craft breweries. The shop I found online, Pawn Palace, smells of dust and old leather. I show the clerk a photo Sophie sent me, asking if they've seen anything like it. He squints, then pulls a tray from the back. There it is, silver heart charm rose engraving. Sold this a month ago, he says. Woman brought it in, said she needed quick cash. I describe Allison, blonde, mid-40s, sharp smile. He nods. Sounds like her. Paid her $200. I buy the bracelet for $250, my hands shaking. It's proof Allison's pawning heirlooms while feeding my daughter lies. Back home, I check the mail. The bank statement I requested arrived, showing Thomas's new credit card, $9,000 in cash advances, most wired to Allison's account. Combined with the $10,000 in transfers from our joint account, he's funneled nearly $20,000 to her. I cross-reference the dates with the pawn shop's receipt. Allison sold the bracelet days after a $2,500 transfer. She's not just covering debts, she's liquidating assets, probably to fund their Lincoln move. My girls don't know their childhood home is on the market or that their college fund is vanishing. This statement, paired with the bracelet, could crack Sophie's trust. She's sentimental. She'll hate knowing Allison lied about something so personal. I need to get this to them without tipping my hand. Abby's already suspicious about the house sale, and Sophie's likely rattled by the email I sent. I decide to double down, targeting Sophie's heart and Abby's logic. I create another burner email, amahatruth456@gmail.com, and attach a scanned copy of the bank statement, redacting my name but highlighting the transfers to Allison. I include a photo of the bracelet next to the pawn shop receipt, time-stamped. The message is short. Ask your dad about the money. Ask Allison about the heirloom. I send it to Sophie's school email and Abby's personal one, the one she uses for online orders. They'll talk, Abby will push Sophie to confront Thomas. I'm counting on it. But I need more to bury Allison. Her Omaha liens, $8,000 for unpaid rent, $6,500 for the contractor, show she's a repeat offender, but I want proof she's still scheming. I search local court records again, focusing on recent filings. After an hour, I find a new case. Allison was sued last month by a credit union for $5,000, an unpaid personal loan taken out in January 2023. The filing notes she claimed financial hardship but never paid. I download it, adding it to my folder. Then I check her Upwork profile again, finding a new review from a client. Took $700 for a marketing plan, delivered nothing. Avoid. She's still running small scams, and Thomas is bankrolling her while lying to our daughters. I drive to our old neighborhood, parking a block away to avoid being seen. The for sale sign is still up, half hidden by the maple trees I planted when Sophie was born. I watch Allison step out, laughing on her phone, wearing a dress I know cost more than my rent. Thomas's truck is gone. He's probably at the hardware store, oblivious to her games. I snap a photo of her, time-stamped, and note the new sedan in the driveway, likely bought with our money. It's a petty move, but it fuels me. I'm building a timeline. Her debts, his transfers, their secrets. That'll show my girls the truth. I think about Thomas's role. He's not just a victim of Allison's charm. He's complicit, lying to Abby and Sophie to keep them on his side. I check his email again, finding a message from his boss. Missed another shift, Tom. We're short-staffed. Shape up or you're out. He's falling apart at work, distracted by Allison, risking the job that's supposed to support our girls. I save it, wondering if I can slip it to Abby. She's practical. She'll hate knowing he's jeopard of a loser now, throwing away stability for a fraud. The bracelet is my next move. I can't mail it to Sophie, it's too direct. Instead, I package it in a plain box with a typed note. This was pawned, not an heirloom. Ask Allison. I drive to the University of Nebraska campus where Sophie has classes and leave it at the student center's lost and found, labeled with her name. The clerk promises to notify her. It'll confuse her, maybe hurt her, but it'll make her question Allison's family heirloom story. I imagine her texting Abby, the two of them piecing it together with the house sale and bank statement. I'm back in my apartment, the Missouri River barely visible through the evening haze. My folder of evidence, liens, court cases, bank statements, pawn receipts, is growing, each piece a step toward breaking Allison and Thomas's hold on my daughters. I'm not yelling or confronting them, that's what they expect. Instead, I'm letting the truth do the work, planting it like seeds in a garden. Abby's already doubting, Sophie's close behind. Thomas will see his mistakes when the girls turn on him, when he's left with a liar and no family. Allison's house of cards is crumbling, and I'm the one shaking the table. They stole my life, but I'm taking it back, one truth at a time. The faint hum of my apartment's radiator fills the quiet as I sit at my kitchen counter, my laptop screen casting a cold glow over the folder of evidence I've built. Allison Brown's lies and Thomas Reed's betrayal are unraveling, and my daughters, Abby and Sophie, are starting to see through the facade. The envelope about the house sale I left on Abby's car, and the burner email with the bank statement and pawned bracelet receipt hit their mark. I saw them at a diner near the Old Market last week, heads bent over a phone, their voices sharp. They're doubting Allison's perfect mom act and Thomas's story about me being the villain. I'm close, so close, to turning them against both, but I need one final blow to seal it, something that'll make Thomas regret his choices and leave Allison with nothing. I start with the bracelet. Sophie picked it up from the university's Lost and Found. I got a notification from the clerk I'd tipped to let me know. She hasn't texted me, but I know my girl. That heirloom was a lie, pawned by Allison for quick cash, and Sophie's heart is too soft to let that slide. Abby, my practical one, will be furious about the house sale and the bank transfers draining their college fund. I need to tie it all together, show them how Allison's scams and Thomas's complicity are one tangled mess. I open my laptop, diving back into Allison's trail. The Omaha Lions $8,000 for unpaid rent, $6,500 for a contractor, $5,000 for a credit union loan, are damning. But I want proof she's still scheming, right now, with Thomas's money. I search local business records, remembering Allison's vague, consulting gig she mentioned to neighbors. A quick check on Nebraska's Secretary of State website reveals a registered LLC, Brown Marketing Solutions, filed by Allison 6 months ago. It's active, but there's no website, no real footprint. Suspicious, I dig into online forums where freelancers in Omaha swap stories. One post catches my eye, a local restaurant owner complaining about a consultant who took $1,200 for a marketing plan that never materialized. The dates match Allison's LLC filing, and the description fits: blonde, charming, talks a big game. I contact the poster through a throwaway account, posing as someone burned by the same scam. They confirm it's Allison. She's been charging small businesses for fake services, pocketing cash while Thomas funds her lifestyle. This is it. Allison's current scam, running under my daughter's noses. I save the forum thread and the LLC filing, but I need to link it to Thomas. I check his email again, his Omaha Huskers 22 password still my key. There's a new message from his bank, a final notice about the $9,000 credit card charges I found last week. Attached is a transaction list, $2,000 wired to an account tied to Brown Marketing Solutions. Thomas is directly funding her fake business, not just her debts. I print it, my hands steady. This isn't just betrayal, it's theft from our family, from Abby and Sophie's future. I need my daughters to see this, but I can't march in with a stack of papers. They'll think I'm desperate. I've been planting seeds and they're sprouting. Abby texted Sophie yesterday. I saw it when I checked her phone's cloud backup, a trick I learned when she was a teen sneaking out. "Dad's acting weird about the house," she wrote, "and that bracelet thing creeps me out." Sophie replied, "Yeah, Allison's story doesn't add up." They're talking, questioning. I need to push them over the edge without them knowing it's me. I craft another burner email, nebraskatruth789@gmail.com, and attach the key pieces: the credit union loan filing, the restaurant owners forum post, and the transaction showing Thomas's money going to Allison's LLC. I keep the message short. Your dad's paying for her scams. Look at the evidence. I send it to both Abby and Sophie's emails, knowing they'll share it. Abby's logical. She'll dig into the loan and LLC. Sophie's emotional. The bracelet lie will hit her hardest. I imagine them confronting Thomas, his excuses crumbling as they realize he's been played. But I want one more piece, something personal to drive it home. I remember Allison's sedan, the one parked in my old driveway, bought right after Thomas's $7,000 transfer. I call the car dealership listed in the bank records, pretending to be Allison checking on a warranty. The clerk pulls the file. Purchased outright, $15,000 paid by Thomas Reed. I ask if there's a cosigner, fishing for more. No, he says, but Ms. Brown mentioned it was a gift from her partner. A gift, with our savings. I request a copy of the purchase agreement, claiming a mix-up, and give my apartment address. It'll arrive in a few days, proof Thomas is bankrolling her lies while lying to our girls. I drive past our old house, the maple trees casting shadows over the for sale sign. I see Sophie's car in the driveway. She's visiting again. My heart aches, but I stay focused. I park nearby and slip a printed copy of the LLC filing into the mailbox, addressed to Abby and Sophie with a note. Ask Allison about her business. It's bold, but they're ready to question her. I picture Sophie's face, hurt by the bracelet, now seeing Allison's consulting as a scam. Abby will connect it to the house sale, the transfers. They'll turn to Thomas, and he'll have no answers. Back in my apartment, I spread out my evidence: court filings, bank statements, the pawned bracelet, the LLC scam. It's a house of cards, and I'm pulling the foundation. Thomas thinks he's escaped with Allison, but he's tied to a fraud who's draining him dry. My daughters are starting to see it: Abby's suspicion, Sophie's doubt. I'm not yelling or begging. I'm letting the truth do the work. Thomas will face his regret when Abby and Sophie walk away, when he's left with a liar and no family. Allison's perfect image is cracking, and I'm the one wielding the hammer. One more push, and they'll both lose everything. The Omaha skyline fades into dusk outside my apartment window, the Missouri River a faint silver line in the distance. My folder of evidence: Allison Brown's court records, Thomas Reed's bank statements, the pawned bracelet, the fake LLC, sits on the kitchen counter, a weapon I've built piece by piece. My daughters, Abby and Sophie, are teetering on the edge of truth. The anonymous emails about the house sale, the bank transfers, and Allison's lies about the heirloom bracelet have them questioning everything. I saw it in their faces at the diner last week: Abby's sharp frown, Sophie's quiet worry. They're close to breaking free from the lies that painted me as the villain who ruined their dad's life. Now, I'm ready to deliver the final blow, to make them see Allison's fraud and Thomas's betrayal for what they are. They'll turn their backs on both, and Thomas will drown in regret, too late to fix the family he broke. The car purchase agreement arrives in the mail, the final nail. It confirms Thomas paid $15,000 for Allison's new sedan, money siphoned from our savings. I pair it with the bank statement showing $20,000 in transfers to her, the credit union loan she defaulted on, and the forum post about her fake LLC Brown marketing solutions, scamming a local restaurant. It's a clear picture. Allison's a con artist, and Thomas is her willing fool, draining our daughter's future to fund her lies. Abby and Sophie need to see it all, but I can't just hand it over. They'd think I'm bitter, obsessed. I've been careful, planting seeds without leaving fingerprints. One last push will bring it all down. I start with Sophie. She's the emotional one still hurt by the bracelet lie. I create a final burner email, amahafax321@gmail.com, and compile a file. The pawn shop receipt, the car purchase agreement, and a screenshot of the LLC scam post. I add a note. Sophie, your mom didn't break the family. Ask Allison about the bracelet and the car. Ask your dad where your college money went. I send it to her school email, knowing she checks it daily. For Abby, I need something harder, something her logical mind can't dismiss. I print the bank statement, highlighting the transfers to Allison, and add the credit union loan filing showing her $5,000 default. I include a typed letter. Abby, your dad's lying about the money and the house. Allison's not who she seems. Look at the facts. I slip it into a plain envelope and drive to the old market, leaving it in the bakery's mailbox, marked for Abby. I don't wait long for results. 2 days later, I'm grading papers at a coffee shop near Benson when my phone buzzes. It's a text from Sophie, the first in months. Can we talk, just us? My heart leaps, but I stay calm, replying, of course, honey, whenever you're ready. An hour later, Abby texts, need to see you, something's off. I suggest a diner near the University of Nebraska neutral ground. When I walk in, they're already there, sitting in a booth, their faces tense. Sophie's clutching her phone. Abby's got a folder, my folder, the one I sent. They don't know it's me, but they're shaken. Mom, Sophie starts, her voice small, is Dad selling the house? I nod, keeping my tone steady. I heard about it. I didn't want to believe it either. Abby cuts in, holding up the bank statement. This says he's giving money to Allison. Thousands. Is it true? I take a deep breath, choosing my words. I found out recently. It's why I've been so quiet. I didn't want to drag you into it. Sophie's eyes well up. She said the bracelet was her mom's, but I checked the pawn shop. She sold it. Abby slams the table. And this LLC thing, she's scamming people and Dad's paying for it. I let them vent, their anger spilling out. They've confronted Thomas and his excuses didn't hold. He claimed the transfers were loans, but stumbled when Abby asked about the house. Allison tried to cry her way out, saying the bracelet was a mistake, but Sophie didn't buy it. They're done with her lies, with his betrayal. We're not going back there, Abby says, her voice hard. Sophie nods, tears falling. We want to stay with you, Mom. I reach for their hands, my throat tight. They're back, my girls, seeing me for who I am, not the monster Thomas and Allison created. I don't stop there. I want Thomas to feel the weight of his choices. I send one last burner email to his work address, attaching the full evidence. Bank transfers, Allison's court records, the LLC scam. The message is simple. You lost your daughters, you chose wrong. I know his boss is copied on his emails. Thomas mentioned it once, complaining about oversight. With his missed shifts and this mess, he'll face scrutiny, maybe lose his job. I don't care about his apologies now. I want him to live with regret. A week later, I'm helping Abby and Sophie move into my apartment. It's cramped, but we make it work, laughing as we squeeze Sophie's nursing books onto a shelf. They tell me Thomas called, begging to explain, but they hung up. Allison's alone in the house now. The sale fell through when the agent sensed drama. Neighbors whisper about her debts, her scams. Thomas is crashing at a coworker's, his life unraveling. He texts me, "I'm sorry, Kate, I messed up." I don't reply, it's too late. He chose Allison, believed her lies, and lost our daughters. We're starting over, my girls and me. I'm still teaching, still finding joy in my classroom, but now Abby's baking at the diner and Sophie's studying at the kitchen table. The Missouri River glints outside, a reminder of home, not the house Allison stole, but the family I fought for. They thought they could erase me, paint me as the villain. They were wrong. I exposed their lies, brought my daughters back, and left Thomas with nothing but regret. This is my victory, and I'm never letting go.